for joining class today. We are going to be focused on standing into our feet and into our hands. Let's do footwork with 2 springs today. You're going to use a blue and a red spring. And then let's start by lying on our back. Make sure your straps are ready and that your foot bar is in the middle position. In a Pilates, we have your pinky toes touching ball of the foot on there. Open the chest, press the arms, long neck once you feel prepped. Remember, engage lightly through the glutes, draw the abs in to press away. It's light. When you're out straight, squeeze the glutes even more to control back in. Your sacrum stays heavy onto the mat the entire time, pressing out and pulling back in. Start to make this movement the same pace as you press away and as you come back in. You want to have it be a little bit slow today. So if you naturally like to press out very quickly and come in very quickly, let's slow it down where it matches your full inhale and your full exhale. And ideally your inhale and your exhale are around the same. If your exhale happens to be longer, that's okay. A couple more times, pressing away. Slowly controlling in. The springs are light. This is easy. One more. Lifting both feet up at the same time to go onto the arches, feet together, toes together. Go on top of the bar lightly to wrap the toes over and the heels under. Again, find your glutes, press through the arms, and let your breath take you out. And then fully close the carriage as you exhale. You want to close the carriage completely in a gentle way that doesn't slam in like this. None of that. If that happens, just try and make it better next time. Closing gently. Feet stay wrapping. 3 more like this. Inner thighs press into each other, your legs are connected, your feet are connected. One more. Going to the heels next. You're going to flex back from the ankle. Have your toes reach for the ceiling. And then try and spread them a little bit. Good. Pressing through the heels, you go out to straight legs. And then you control back in. See if you can match that to your breath. Inhaling to press out, squeeze the glutes. Exhale to pull in. Keeping the sacrum heavy at all times. Long neck. 4 more. Good. Press all the way. And back in. 2. Going down to the ball of the foot. Keep the feet together. Press out to straight legs. Lower through the heels. Lift through the heels. Keeping the ankles together. Keeping the toes together for a few. That might make it so that your knees have to stay soft, because if they lock out, it's hard to keep all of that connected. Good. Try a couple more like this. And then go into a very little Pilates, V, heels together, toes apart. Continue lowering and lifting. Squeezing through the glutes so much that you feel like they pull in towards your pelvis. Like if you're wearing Spanx and it pulls you in. Your Spank muscles. Spanx. I like that word. 3 more times. 2. Last one. Lift the heels, bend both knees to come back in. Good. Keeping the 2 springs that you have on, go ahead and place your feet into the straps. We're gonna go way out of order today. Once your feet are in the straps, open through the chest more, legs go out straight to lift up for the ceiling, and then lower down to a 30 to 45-degree angle. You lift up for the ceiling and back down. Trying to keep this movement in the hip joint, because the thigh bone, your femur, is a ball and socket joint into the hip. So you can imagine it like a lever that goes up and then it lowers down towards the springs. The head of the femur is in the hip joint, rolling up and rolling back down. Hands firmly pressing into the mat. 3 more like this. Last 2. And then taking the feet up for the ceiling to begin circles. Legs open about hip width or the width of the carriage, then you lower together and up. Again, opening out, lower, together and up. You can take a full inhale to lower and a full exhale to go up. Or just continue to breathe continuously and trying to keep your circles as even in pace and even from center as possible. 2 more like this. Once more. And then reversing, lowering through center to separate at the bottom and controlling up and together. Reaching down to open up and together. Good. Get your breath to the shoulder blades so that they get heavy onto the mat. Feel how your glutes and your hamstrings help you lower. 2 more times. Standing into the straps once more. That wasn't a very good one, sorry about that. Lower down. Again, anywhere from a 30 to a 45-degree angle. Hands firmly press. Pull the heels towards you, keeping them together. Knees apart. And then press away at the same angle. It's as if your feet were on a track and you push a really heavy box up that track and then you bring a really heavy box back down. Pressing out and pulling in for frogs. Focus on keeping your sacrum heavy, so when you're out here, squeeze into the glutes, reach through the feet so that you feel your legs connect to your pelvis, the abdomen work. There's a little bit of space in your low back, your natural curve. If you have a little ladybug underneath there, keep her there and pull the heels towards you. The ladybug stays there. She doesn't get smushed. Sacrum heavy. That will keep you connected to your glutes so that you can easily press back out. And you stay connected to the glutes. Pushing in, that will help you stay pressing into the straps, standing into them as the knees bend and as they straighten. Good. So that's how your frogs work right now. 2 more. Once more. The legs stay out at this angle. Let's pretend like you're under a table, so the feet stay at the same height to go apart until you start to feel a stretch through the inner thighs. And maybe you try and turn out a little more to pull back together to center. And again, pulling apart, staying under that imaginary table, and then back to the center. Reach out and back in. 3 more. 2. And once more. Pull in for a butterfly stretch where the soles of the feet meet. Take a few breaths in this stretch. You can lightly shift from one side to the other. And you pull back towards your frog position. Press out to straight legs. The left leg is going to go out to the side as the right leg frogs in. And then they both meet out in straight legs at an angle. Now the right leg goes out as the left leg frogs in, keeping tension on both straps at all times. So if you need to slow it down to keep tension in both straps, just slow it down. Feel the tension in them, stand into them, and then press away. That's all I want you to focus on, standing into them as one leg goes out and the other one comes in. And then press away again. 3 more to each side. Meet at center, out to the right, back to center. 2 more to each side. Again, shoulders stay taking up space onto the mat. You want to guide your breath to your upper back, to the sides of the rib cage. Last set. And once more. Good. Pull the legs in. You're going to switch your feet into the short loops. Gather your hair, lower down your headrest, lower down your head. Find space for your shoulders, press into the feet to frog away. Standing into the straps with your exhale, lift up and over for short spine. When your carriage closes, the knees lower down. You breathe in, the exhale rolls you down. And you pull the heels down. Try and keep your hands firmly pressing into the mat. This is very difficult for me, so you'll see me work very hard on that. That will help your upper back just go up and over a little more and stand into it. Nose is straight for the ceiling. You look at your feet as your spine rolls down. You can stay looking for the ceiling as your legs press away so that you don't have your head turned any other way when you're doing this exercise. Two more times, up and over, knees in, roll through the spine, 2, and once more. Go back to your butterfly stretch. You can grab the straps, give yourself a little pull, keeping the left hip, left leg as is. The right leg will go out to the side for an inner thigh stretch. You can support that leg with a hand under it. Point and flex through the foot 6 times. Pull the leg in to switch sides. So hips even, left leg out, right one stays. Pointing and flexing. Pulling the leg back in. And taking our feet out of the straps. Hang up your straps, sit yourself up however you need to, or if you'd like to tease her up, take your legs over the bar, squeeze the legs into each other, arms up, and inhale preps you, and your exhale will pull you up. And then swinging to your side. Get your handles and add your handles to the straps. So these come off. Once you add the handles, pick up your headrest, go onto your back, grab onto your handles, make sure they are even. Good. Taking your legs to tabletop, press the legs into each other, grab onto your handle, have as much surface area of your hand grabbing on there, and then lower down for the hips. And control back. Letting the handle roll so that your knuckles reach for the wall in front of you. And then up towards the ceiling. We lower. And we lift. Just paying attention to see if you can keep the same amount of surface area touching the handle with the palm of the hand at all times. Maybe you squeeze with the pinky and the ring finger just a little bit more. Two more. Knees squeeze into each other. One more. At the top, the arms open without the carriage moving. Out to T. Back up above you. Out to T. Back above you. T, up towards the ceiling, 3 more, 2, and once more. If you need a break, you can take a quick break. If not, we continue on. So when you are ready, you'll take your legs back to the tabletop. Put a little bit of pressure into the handles, make sure you're grabbing as much surface area as possible. Open the arms out to T again. This time reach down for the hips and back up above you. You'll open, reach down. Squeezing into the handles a little bit so that you feel them glide and roll. Three more. 2. Once more. Reversing those. Two more. Down. Up to T. Back up. Last one. Good. Oh, those are so tiring. Let's go to tricep presses next. So for any reason your shoulders have gone up against the shoulder blocks, make sure you come off of them. Now, before we go on to your tricep presses, you're gonna keep your feet on the bar. Press out so that you can place your elbows down. Once your elbows are down, keep standing into the feet, into the bar. Okay, wrap your hands under. Reach your knuckles for the ceiling. And keep your feet on there. Reach your knuckles down. See if you can push down to the bar like you're pushing away. Keep that sensation, elbows exactly where they're at to bend back in. Now you have the option of keeping the feet on the bar like this. In fact, we're gonna do the next 3 like this, where you gently press out and pull back in. And this might feel a little bit like when you do hundreds, when you press through the arms. Let's get rid of that. So now, press out to straight arms. And really stand into them. And pull one knee into tabletop. And then pull the other one in. Elbows stay in place to bend. And to reach long, stand into the handles. And bend. And stand into the handles. And bend. 3 more. 2. And once more. Good. Push through the hands, curl, and lower. And if you happen to open up your palms like I did, let's try to not do that on the next one. Keep your fingers wrapped. Look for your knees close into the body to curl and lower. Again, curl and lower. 3 more. 2. And once more. Good. Take the arms up. Hang up the handles. Sitting yourself up however you need to, or taking the legs over the bar. Arms stay up, they connect to your back. You take a breath to pray. Your exhale picks you up. Cool. Grab your box for a long box in front of your shoulder blocks. Headrest down. 1 green spring. The footbar can stay up for now. You're going to sit facing towards the tower. It's light, so be careful. It might move. Grab your handles. Have straight wrists. If you feel like you're overly punching, you're overly punching. If you feel like you're pulling back towards you and it looks like your wrists are wrinkly, you're breaking your wrists as well. But try and keep it as straight as possible. Reaching through the knuckles, open through the chest. Press into your feet until you feel your glutes engaged. Draw the abs in, and then reach back and pull forward. Good. Again, reaching back and forward, growing tall for 5, 4, 3, 2, and once more. Good. We are going to take our entire arm through this little thing. For any reason your arm doesn't fit, you could use the straps, but I think you'll be okay. Good. Once it's on your forearms, have the palms face towards you and then away. And do that a few times. Face towards you and away. Face towards you and away. Push through the feet to feel your seat connection. Pull the knees in to feel the inner thigh connection. Once more. Then keep the arms relaxed to open up the elbows. And elbows come forward. The humerus just turns out. And forward. Letting the back pull the arms. And letting the back bring the arms forward. They help pull the arms back and they help decelerate the movement. 3 more. Chest open. Once more. Hands back to the handles. Punch the knuckles in towards each other. Elbows out, abs in, push through the feet. Tuck through the towel and begin to round back onto your box. And then round forward. Sit tall out of the sits bones and round back again. Pulling the handles with you and coming back up. You keep the handles the same distance away from your chest the entire time. For 3. 2. And once more. Round all the way down to hang up your straps. Reach for the side of the wood and just let your hands reach down, push gently into the wood so that you feel your back stretch between your shoulder blades. One more breath. And then sitting up, you're going to turn yourself to the other side. Grab your handles before you turn around. Keep them in one hand. Other hand can go onto the box to help you flip over. When you flip over, place the feet on the side on the mat, not on the wood, but on the mat so that you can still move. And then reassign your straps. Have a little bit of space behind you, about a hand's width of space. Palms facing forward, straight wrists, open through the chest, pull the abs in, reaching the handles out in front and pulling back down. Again, you reach up and you pull back down. And if this feels heavy, switch to a red spring. You could even lower down to a blue. The legs gently press into the blocks. You lift and you lower. I'm going to switch my springs to a blue spring for circles. If you feel strong, you can stay with the green spring. If you feel like it's time to lower it a little bit, that's what you can do now. So again, sit tall, push through the feet, squeeze through the glutes. Couple more lifting and lowering. If you have switched springs. Now we're going to start turning these into circles where you lift, you open, and pull down. Keeping your arms within your peripheral vision. Two more. Once more. And then reversing. This is the reason why I lower my spring. Let's do 3 more. 2. Squeeze the legs into each other, into the box to help you stay stable. Once more. Good job. Sit taller than before. Bring the hands to the knees. And then you're going to slowly reach down to the hip. Back to the knee and to the hip. One hand pull more than the other. Push into both handles at the same time. Focus on now standing into the handles with the palms like you did for your feet when you had them in the straps. 3 more, from hips to knees to hips to knees. Last set to knees. Back to hips. Hang your handles on the pegs. Step off to the side. Keeping your long box in front, you can move it a little bit so that it comes unstuck from the shoulder blocks. Place your hands on your box, index fingers parallel to each other, open up through the fingers. And try and have as much surface area of your hand on there as possible. Walk yourself back so that you create a tabletop-like position with your back. Bend your knees, reach your sits bones to the back wall, and then you can start the running position that you would do where you lift one knee and the other heel pushes towards the ground, and then you lift the other knee, the heel, other knee pushes to the ground, just to feel a stretch through your back. One more on each side. Bend the knees more so that you feel like you can get really, really close to your thighs. And then reach your sits bones back again. Bend the knees, sink into the stretch, and reach your sits bones back. 3 more. 2. And once more. On the side, you can stay there, but from the side, you have your hands on your box. You reach your butt back, lift the heels as you come forward. You end up doing a little bit of a plank, look out in front, then your hips will lead you back. You can lower the heels. You're going to soften the knees. You can lift. Look in front. Come up straight. Lift the heels. For your plank, push the box. Let's hold this for a couple of breaths, pushing down into the box. Push into your fingers. And then push the hips back. It's like you're trying to push the box away a little bit, but it doesn't move. But once you go as far back as you can, you lower the heels. You bend the knees to lower down more. You lift the hips, as you straighten the knees. And you're gonna round your spine. Lift the heels, stay rounded until you come over the hands. Then look out in front. For your plank where you're looking in front. Couple of breaths here. And then hinge. And if you miss that sequence and you're like, I have no idea what happened, you can rewind and do it again. Replay it. Put your box away. Hip rest up. Add a spring so that you have one red and one blue. Taking your foot bar up to the high position. Lock your bar with the little notch. We're going to stand onto the equipment. Keep the carriage close when you stand on it. Thumbs follow fingers. We're going to do variations of elephant. So your feet will be about hip width apart, right underneath you. Hands are pushing down into the foot bar, round through your spine, knees and elbows soft. Now connect your entire foot to the bar. Connect your entire foot to the mat. Push back, pull back in. As you're pressing back, look to see where this is coming from. Once more. You're going to walk the feet back. Not the entire way almost, but in front of the shoulder blocks. Then same thing, push through the arms, push through the feet, soften the knees, round the spine, let the neck lengthen, and press back and pull back in. And again. want the femur to move within the hip socket back and forward. The hands are pushing into the bar. Then we're going to take the feet back against the shoulder blocks, flat against the shoulder blocks. Hips are above the ankles. You're still pushing into your foot bar, and you are still rounding between the ribs and the hips. Long neck to push back through the heels and close the carriage completely. Hinging from the hip joint, pulling back in. For 5, keeping the fingers wrapped. 4, 3, gently closing. 2, and once more. Good. Bring your body weight forward, bring your feet forward. 2, come off carefully. Let's keep the foot bar up high. Lower down your headrest. You can remove the handles and just drop them for now. Foot bar stays up, headrest is down. Your straps have been dropped to the well, and you have 4 springs, everything but the center. Once you're on your back, press the palms down, open the chest, feet together, knees together. We're going to work on going up into a shoulder bridge while maintaining the carriage close. So, wrap the toes, start carving through the pelvis to peel up, reaching your knees for the wall in front of you, long neck. And then push the arms even more. That might give you a little bit more height. And squeeze the glutes more. Keeping that connection, soften the chest, soften the ribs, knees together. The rest of the spine goes until the pelvis gets all the way down. Good job. Push into the hands. Begin to lift again, keeping the carriage totally closed. All the way up. Push into the arms. Push into the glutes, or squeeze the glutes and push into the feet. Knees together, and soften the throat, chest, sternum, ribs, spine, low back. Good. One more time, peeling up. All the way. Find your full engagement, long ears. And roll down. Good. Hands will go to the pegs. Feet will go apart wide. Knees go to one side, about 50% of your range. We're not rolling all the way over to drop the hips. You're just rolling a little to one side and over to the other side. The foot bar is closer than usual, so we're just going to do this in a little bit smaller range to help the femur move in the hip socket, not necessarily rotate the pelvis around. Three more to each side. 2. And 1 more to each side. It might start to feel a little bit wavy, so if you start to feel like, if you were feeling like it was making your body wave, you could do a few like that now. Now we're going to cut those. Then the ball of the foot is going to go back onto the bar, feet together. Reach straight out to straight legs. And lower the heels. And lift the heels. And bend back in. If that feels really heavy on the shoulders, it's because it is. But we're going to see if we could remove a little bit of that weight by getting our shoulder blades heavier on the mat. Squeeze the legs into each other so that you feel that outside glutes engage. The hamstrings start to work. And when we press away, this glutes keep squeezing. That might lightly unweight the shoulders. Maybe it didn't. And then we come back in. We'll try it once more. Entire ball of the foot pushes into the bar to help you Maybe lightly unload the shoulders. And then back in. Sitting yourself up. Oh, it is harder to teaser when the bar's a little bit higher, just FYI. Let's lower the bar down to the middle position. Back onto your back for running. Headrest can come up. Feet are about hip width apart, ball of the foot and pinky are under. Hands firmly press. Go out, one heel lowers, the other one goes up. And you switch. And switch. Once this feels pretty good and like you can keep your ankles aligned, knees going straight up and down, you can pick up the tempo for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. And both knees come back in. Take your feet wide on the bar, lightly turned out. Tug your pelvis, lift a little to press out for pelvic lift, and pull back in. Keep finding length between your ribs and your hips during this movement. And keeping the back of the leg connected as you press out and as you pull in. Pay attention to your feet. Are they both pressing evenly? Is one leg pressing more than the other? Last 2. Try and push evenly on purpose. And once more. Lower the hips, hands back to the poles, the pegs. Knees drop to the side. This time your hip can lift. You squeeze that glute to push away a little bit. And you can look for the opposite elbow or towards the opposite elbow. And switching sides. Knees come to center, head comes to center, knees go away, squeeze the top glute, look to the other side. And back to center, 2 more to each side, just going at your own pace. And 1 more. Bring your legs back to center, pull your knees in, grab onto each knee with your hands, pull in like you're trying to give yourself a little hug, then hug yourself. Good job, you're all done. Sitting yourself up. Please clean up your equipment. Don't forget to clean your springs as well as your clips, your safety clips. And then you can place your straps up in there. And this little guy. Thanks, see you next time.